Hey there, friends. It's Gun Gaming. This is answer to Suchit Gosrani's question. Bro, thanks for telling sets now. Can you please tell best Omega cards or sets for Black Widow? So there were a couple of comments to a different poster that addressed this specifically, but I just want to talk about this a little bit myself. So there are a couple of different ways of looking at Omega cards, and I do not think that there is one right way. So just let's start there as kind of baseline. For me, I really like the six set. I like it for two reasons. Number one, I do think that the crit rate increase is really helpful. I think it's more helpful than getting base crit damage cards, and I'll walk you through why I think that is. Crit damage here also really good, but the crit rate of 6.51% is pretty high. If I come in here to my hero and I look at okay, I think I actually have a different one here that we can pull, by the way. So I've got this attack by 3.8%. I can't see a crit rate increase, but crit rate increase is pretty close to that. I think it's around 5% in a 5-star core. So from a 5-star Omega card 4 set, you're getting equivalent of like one 5-star core. So like kind of keep that parity in mind. And the cores and Omega cards, I think, are probably the biggest things that you're going to be using interchangeably. So it's going to depend on what you have for cores and what kind of build you're trying to make for your character. I think, in my opinion, the most important cores are crit damage, which is a green one, crit rate, which is a red one, and dodge rate, which is a blue one. So those are kind of your three main cores that you should be going for, and each character build is going to be slightly different. Now, some characters like Captain Marvel, you might just want a raw alpha stat of attack and not worry about crit damage and crit rate. You just kind of want to drown opponents in as much attack damage as possible. That's not who I'm playing. You asked a question about Black Widow, so I'm going to try to address that. I'm just trying to say to other people out there, this is why there's not one answer, because every character is a little bit different. And what you get for the exclusive stat is going to matter too. So on these cards, I got PvP damage decrease. Defense Pierce is pretty trash in my opinion, good for bosses. But total damage is pretty good. PvP damage decrease. So I got two really good rolls on the exclusive stats for two of these cards. I like the number 6 set because you get crit damage on the Loki one. And then all of the three others are alpha stats, attack, defense, and HP. So, those are all impacted by other effects, like HP recovery is one example. But those three alpha stats are really what drives most of the raw power of a character and their sustainability in a bunch of game modes. So for me, I'm happy with those alpha stats. If you've seen me gone through my Black Widow here, you know that I have focused a lot of my cores to green cores. So I've taken all of these battle badges, have green core slots, and we're running as many crit damage pieces as possible. That's been a huge focus for me. Right now, my crit damage is capped at 325%, so I'll do some tweaking after this video to get all the way up to 325%. All other characters are capped at 300. Black Widow has a specialization that lets her overcap that crit damage. So really, really strong for her. Crit damage is really important with her ultimate. You get a guaranteed crit hit, and I think that works. So that's the one set I think. And also another note here, this is all very free to play friendly. You can farm 2 of these cards on Malekith and 2 of these cards on Loki just in Midgardia World. You'll probably get enough just running through your activity log completions and killing Malekith 10 times, and certainly by killing Loki 30 times. I have multiple drops of these boat Lokis. So that's the first thing. Next, you'll note that I took 2 different cards. So you could do like one set, but most 2 sets give you like a very moderate attack percent increase. It really goes up higher the more cards you have equipped from that set. So it is a little counterintuitive in that you're not just getting the 2 set. When you get 3, 4, 5, 6 cards, the more you add, the more those alpha stats on the bottom of the cards go up. I just have accepted that I'm never going to be getting a special card, and if I did, it's never going to be the one that I want, so I'm not worried about getting this 6 set, and HP is probably the worst of the alpha sets, so trying to finish off the last 2 is really not all that helpful for me. So instead, I just focused on the fixed effect and bonus stats. So total damage and crit damage are pretty strong. This one's super villain damage and crit damage. Super villain damage I could do better on, but I did get a total damage exclusive stat. And I'm kind of stopping at 5 stars right now, working on leveling up all my alts, and then I'll push for 6-star cards and 6-star costumes on my main character. But the grind for getting 6 stars is just so intense that it's not super worth it. And then coming in here, one of the best ways to check, you can go to collection, Omega cards. I do want to highlight one new card that has just come out in Dark Domain. Let's see if I can find it. They added a lot more stats, so it's this one, this Doctor Strange, and number 13 has an accuracy-based stat. So a lot of people are equipping this card to kind of get around the overcapped dodge rates on Spider-Man. Which is super obnoxious. I hate it. I really wish that they would turn it off, but we are where we are. Dodge rate just feels so bad all the time. And it's just kind of like a brainless defensive mechanism where players don't even bother dodging. They just go into Omega War on auto, knowing that people can't even hit them, and knowing that their 1+ mil powers have enough base attack stats for Spider-Man, who is otherwise a bit of a wet noodle for damage. If you've scaled him enough with enough money, you can kill people so fast it doesn't matter. So for me, I really wish a lot of those mechanics was a little bit better, fixed through matchmaking. So endgame players who are 1+ mil power can invest in this card and find some good value out of it. Now the supervillain damage decrease is pretty lame on this 13, so not one that I'm going to be focusing on. It does require this special card anyway. So not my cup of tea. And then I think there is also Dark Zone sets. Some people really like these sets with the PvP damage decrease and increase, but these both have 2 special cards, so good luck with that. You're never going to get that as a free-to-play player, not anytime soon. I would just recommend giving up on that and instead focusing on, as I said before, the one really good free-to-play card set here, which is Midgardia number 4 or set number 6. Pretty solid. I think you'll find that is worth getting. And then if you ever just want to go through and see where they all are, you can come to Omega card sets, and this will show you all of the kind of rare card sets, and you can click on these and look through all of them and see all of these base sets. So again, most of the 2 sets are attack defense, HP attack. Xander's number 4 is one that I'd recommend for Captain Marvel just to get this ultimate skill gauge recovery. Alpha stats. Then this number 6 I definitely recommend for Black Widow, just being able to get that crit damage boost. Now, crit rate and crit damage aren't the best stats for all characters as well, so that's all I'm also kind of hedging on this. This is not the best set for everyone, but it is really strong for Black Widow. Midgardia, number 7, is also just a bunch of base stat increases. I think supervillain damage is fine, but it's only really good in PvE content. The dodge rate on Sakaar number 2 is helpful. Some people do like this as just one of their 2 sets. Some people will run the Midgardia number 4 or the number 6 set with 2 cards from the number 8 set, and I think they have one of these is, yeah. So the one downside about this set is there are 2 attacks, but the other 2 are HP, are defense pierce and HP, which are not the best. But follow your heart. So the dodge rate one is one of the better ones. All these others are pretty much just attack total damage, which is pretty lame. Attack. So this PvP increase is probably the one people care about the most. The decrease is helpful, but people are typically sticking to dodge rate as the alpha stat for It's kind of like the meta stat for PvP damage avoidance more than defense, more than PvP damage decrease. So I think that's why people are focusing elsewhere. I do think for this brand new set with a new Doctor Strange, who now has 2 special cards, which feels a little weird. But I think that this super villain damage decrease is kind of a lame final stat for a 6-card set. So anyway, hope that answers your question, Suchit Gosrani. That was a really good question. I think a lot of people have been asking that. And I know that. Just want to note one comment a lot of people made in the comments is ignore sets altogether. Just take crit damage cards. Let's see. I think some of the sets have them, some of the sets don't. So, you do have to look around for ones that have crit damage, so those ones don't. The Vote Loki card. Notably, you could just take all 6 Vote Loki cards. Just go passively farm Loki overnight. And then you can just take 6 of these Vote Loki cards for crit damage. It won't give you set bonuses because they have to be different cards, but you could do that just to get a whole bunch of Vote Loki cards. Whatever floats your boat. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, though. Do you have a different perspective on this? Do you have like a certain card set that you think is totally worth getting? Do you think I did a good overview of all of the different ones? There are a lot, and it can be a little bit confusing. But like I said, I think that Xanderth one for Captain Marvel for Ultimate Skill Gauge Recovery. The crit rate, crit damage, I think is also good for Star-Lord. But Star-Lord is just so unplayable that I don't recommend funneling anything to him right now. Wait till he gets some massive reworks. And before you start investing in Star-Lord. Whew. There you go. Please leave a sub if you want to see answers to your questions that you post down below. And until next time, good luck on the path. Have some fun out there and keep on gaming. Bye for now.